This is a list that China released recently. It has 30 new Mandarin names for places in Arunachal Pradesh, and this is not the first list. China has already released 3 such lists naming various places in Arunachal Pradesh in the past. It even has a name for the Indian state. China calls it Zangnan. The list was released by Chinese Ministry of Civil Affairs. Beijing claims that Arunachal Pradesh is a part of South Tibet, and India terms these claims as baseless and absurd. Here's what the Foreign Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has to say about this.
मैं आपके घर का नाम बदल दूं तो मेरा घर बन जाएगा क्या? अरुणाचल प्रदेश भारत का स्टेट है, पहले भी था, अभी भी है, आगे भी रहेगा.
But why is China so interested in Arunachal Pradesh, and what is the history of the conflicted state? Let me explain.
अरुणाचल इंडिया का पार्ट है और हमेशा रहेगा.
हम इंडियन है और इंडियन ही रहेंगे.
अरुणाचल चाइना का हिस्सा, वो कभी था ना कभी रहेगा.
This is the line of actual control, the LAC that separates India from China. This was a working border demarcation. It was informally agreed upon after the Indo-China war to settle the war at that time. In 1993 and 1996, through the Border Peace and Tranquility Agreement and Agreement on Military Confidence Building Measures, it was officially agreed upon by both India and China to respect the LAC. However, India considers LAC to be 3,488 kilometers long, while Beijing considers it to be only around 2,000 kilometers long. In the India's map, the Aksai Chin is a part of India, and China claims Arunachal Pradesh as its land. So both India and China, when they bring out their international maps, they include these states as a part of their country. Arunachal Pradesh was called the Northeast Frontier Agency or NEFA before the Constitution of India was made. It was a part of the Indian land controlled by the British. In 1972, it became a union territory of India and was renamed Arunachal Pradesh. In 1987, it was given the status of a state. The 83,743 square kilometer state is the biggest among the northeastern states of India. Arunachal Pradesh shares its borders with many neighboring countries like Myanmar, Bhutan and Tibet, which is now a part of China. Arunachal Pradesh has a district called Tawang. This was initially a part of Tibet. In 1914, in the Simla Agreement, McMahon Line was declared as the divide between Tibet and British-controlled India. Tawang was included in this line as a part of British India. Under the Simla Convention, China did not agree to the 890-kilometer McMahon Line. So this was an agreement between British India and Tibet. Remember, that time Tibet was not a part of China. So Tawang now became a part of India. However, in 1950, Tibet became a part of China, and when India became independent, China showed interest in the region. In 1962, Chinese soldiers entered the NEFA and captured Tawang. After the 1962 Indo-China War, Tawang was guarded by some Chinese troops, but after some time, the troops returned back and Tawang came under Indian administration and agreements were signed. However, post that too, China kept claiming Arunachal Pradesh as its own land.
Between 1975 to 2020, which is really 45 years, there was no bloodshed on the border. And in 2020 it changed. And today when we look at the, we can disagree on many things, but when a country actually sort of does not observe written agreements with a neighbor, then I think you have cause for concern here, because it then raises a question mark about the stability of the relationship and frankly about intentions.
So now, why is Arunachal Pradesh so important for China? In 1959, Dalai Lama escaped from Tibet to India and took shelter in Tawang. The district has the second largest monastery too. It is said that if Tibet wants to fight against China, Tawang might be the center of the strategy and planning. For India to enter China in case of a conflict, Arunachal Pradesh is the shortest route. Hence, it is also a tactical importance for China. Tawang has Tibet in the north, Bhutan in the southwest, and east there is Sila Pass. This makes it a tri-junction. To enter Sila Pass, Chinese need to pass through Tawang, and that's where last year Chinese troops were trying to enter but failed. Now, all in all, China is increasing its presence around Arunachal Pradesh, and recently the conflict escalated even further after Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveiled developmental projects in Arunachal Pradesh, including the Sila Tunnel. The tunnel will help the Indian military too. So China opposed this development and claimed that Arunachal Pradesh is their land. They also were against Prime Minister Modi visiting Arunachal Pradesh. India then said that China opposing PM's visit in the state of his own country is absurd. And not only India, the US also sees Arunachal Pradesh as a part of India. Here's what the US State Department said. Listen in.
The United States recognizes Arunachal Pradesh as Indian territory, and we strongly oppose any unilateral attempts to advance territorial claims by incursions or encroachments, military or civilian, across the line of actual control.
So that's all about the history of the state and why China keeps claiming Arunachal Pradesh as their land. For more such informative explainers, keep watching ET Now.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.